What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tiny Tyler, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing Avatar: The Last Airbender, specifically Season 2 of the Netflix my words are clearly a struggle already. The Netflix Season 2 live adaptation, and we're answering the question, how does the live action hold up? Factoring in that our opinions can change with Season 3 being released, I think, next year. My opinions have changed since Season 1 was initially released. So we're answering that question today. I would love to hear opinions down below. What are your thoughts? What's your relationship to Avatar: The Last Airbender? Because I'm going to share my history with it to get started here. I'd love to hear your opinions, your thoughts, your ideas down below, what you like, what you didn't like. But again, I've been saying in a lot of my videos lately, if you're gonna be an asshole, please fucking take that somewhere else. I'm open to discourse. I'm open to differing opinions. I actually welcome it. I'm down to bond and connect over our shared love for Avatar: The Last Airbender. But if you're going to be an asshole, please, kindly, fuck off. With that being said, now, let's get into this. Spoiler warning ahead, too. Spoiler warning ahead for all of you who have not seen the whole thing yet. You have been warned. Okay, now let's get into this. My history with Avatar: The Last Airbender, I just want to get, my bias out of the way, because there is one. I ain't gonna fucking deny it. I fucking love. And if I'm going to put some text up on the screen, bold, italicized, underline the word love. I fucking love Avatar: The Last. I'm getting, I don't know if you can see it. My eyes are watering. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. It holds a very special place in my heart. It is up there with Pokemon for me. So many life lessons taught through this little animated series when I was a kid. It is in fucking incredible. Even to this day, Uncle Iroh's wisdom from the anime pierces something deep within me. I'm just like, damn, this motherfucker had it going. Talk about...
Don't need shame at all. I'm as proud as ever.
Prince Zuko, pride is not the opposite of shame, but its source. True humility is the only antidote to shame.
The embodiment of healthy masculinity. Uncle Iroh is just the best character in the animated series for that. So my history with this, there's a very strong bias. I love the animated series, and that goes for Legend of Korra too. I know there's a lot of mixed opinions about the Legend of Korra. I love Legend of Korra too. I thought it was an awesome series, and both have their strengths and weaknesses, but all in all, I fucking love them. Both of them. And so, what I found myself doing a lot was really comparing the animated series to the live adaptation, quite a lot. And I've watched season 1 twice, and obviously I just watched season 2. Season 1, the first time I watched it, I was in awe. I was so pumped. I'm like, this is so cool. Look at fucking Appa. And then I watched it the second time. I'm like, oh my God, I was so in the emotional experience of season 1 the first time around when they first released it, that I didn't notice how many fucking things they changed from the initial source material. It actually, the second time I watched it, pissed me off. I'm like, you guys had the keys to the kingdom right fucking there, and you changed so many things. The thing that really pissed me off the most in season 1 was how they changed the moment in the Lover's Cave between Aang and Katara to a moment between Katara and Sokka. I'm gonna say this, I really enjoy the Avatar: The Last Airbender adaptation, but that was the dumbest fucking thing I've ever seen them do in both seasons. You took such a beautiful moment from the animated series, and it was a moment they didn't have to change. And I just thought it was a mistake, honestly. I'm not one who typically finds a lot of, even if there's something I disagree with, a creative choice that writers or actors or whoever make, it doesn't bother me that much. There are 2 film/TV projects that I can name off the top of my head that I can say with definitively that they sucked. And I don't say that lightly, because I usually don't have this kind of opinion about them. But Acolyte, the Star Wars thing on Disney Plus, and the original Avatar: The Last Airbender film adaptation they tried to do in 2010, that was just pure fucking garbage. Both of them were. There were a couple cool things in Acolyte, like the lightsaber stuff, but outside of that, just garbage. And I don't hold that opinion about film or TV that often at all. It's really just those 2 projects. And so that moment where they changed the scene in the Lover's Cave from Aang and Katara to Katara and Sokka, it was just so fucking stupid. I couldn't get past that. It still infuriates me thinking about it. And even that moment to this day, it still just doesn't hold that much water, because there are so many other moments between Katara and Sokka that it just wasn't necessary. And again, they had the keys to the kingdom. The source material is genius, but then I factor in the fact that okay, they're taking it from an anime to live adaptation. There's going to be some changes, but that was one of those things where they didn't need to change it, And so going into season 2, I was there, I had a lot of concerns. How many things were they going to change that don't need to be changed? And one of the things that I felt from season 1 that I still feel with season 2 is like they almost, on the creative side of things, they can't make up their mind if they want to follow the source material or if they don't. And I don't hold this against them for like my overall opinion, but some of the things they do feel incredibly forced. Like some of the things they do where they adapt the source material into the live action feel incredibly forced. And some of the examples that come to the top of the noggin for me are when Toph invents metal bending. Like, and she like, there was no hesitation. She just says, "I'm the greatest earthbender alive, and I just invented metal bending." I'm almost positive she doesn't say that in that scene in the anime. It's again, it's been a few months since I've seen it, but that moment, like, it's one thing for her to say, like, "I'm the greatest airbender alive." I'm pretty sure that's in the scene, and that worked. But it was when they forced her to say, like, "I just invented metal bending." Like, we all just saw it. Like, we don't need to hear her say that in that moment, and it just felt like between that was one of those moments where they forced the anime material in a scene. Because I'm pretty sure Toph does say it at some point. Like, she has a sense of pride about inventing metal bending, but that scene just wasn't it.
Woo! Toph, you rule.
Like, that was one of them. When Sokka does the water tribe thing, like, that just felt forced. And my God, this one, I remember freaking out in the middle of season 2 watching it when they have Azula, when Aang and Zuko have Azula cornered in that like little town, and Azula tries to introduce herself to Aang by doing the face covering thing and say, like, "I thought the family resemblance was obvious."
Who are you and what do you want?
You mean you haven't guessed? You don't see the family resemblance? Here's a hint. I must find the Avatar to restore my honor.
Like, that moment felt forced, like, because he was right there. I'm pretty sure in the anime, if I'm not mistaken, he wasn't there when she explained it that way, which is why it worked. And that's what I mean. Like, there's just these subtle moments where they force some of the source material things into the live action. And I love it because I feel like the intention is the fan service, but like some of it just really doesn't work. And that's why I feel like sometimes they can't make up their mind whether they want to adapt the source material or leave it behind. And there are some times where it works, and then there are some times where it just really doesn't work at all. And I appreciate the gesture, but like I would rather they just pick a side, because they do some things really fucking well too that aren't really a part of the source material in the same sense. Like Uncle Iroh, for example, like especially in season 2, they like he always had in the anime series, he always has this depiction of he has a lot of like trauma and things he's been through. He's had struggles in his life, but like it never broke him. You know, his spirits were still high. But in season 2, we actually saw him broken, you know, where like he wanted the mugger to stab him or hurt him. I can't remember exactly how it unfolded. It ended up turning into a really beautiful scene, but it took a darker tone than the anime, you know. And I do feel like that's one of those situations where it's different mediums, so they have to respect that. But I enjoyed like that twist on him was good, you know. So they took some of the source material and they adapted it very well, and I really fucking enjoyed that. And like Ty Lee's chi blocking was another thing that I really enjoyed, because they didn't try to like write her differently or depict her differently. They still did the chi blocking, and considering in the anime they can do this with anime, like her movements are really fast. You know, I feel like she was moving at superhuman speed in the anime, which they can't do in live action. So I feel like they handled that transition really well. So those things I enjoyed about like some of those adaptations I felt were really well placed. It was just some of the other things, and it was mostly lines where they tried to force lines in there that just didn't really fit well. And because they're like some of the things they have to go away from the source material, given the season duration, the length of the episodes, the spectacle of a Netflix series versus a non-spectacle animated series, you know, and being like the more traditional TV series when the original show came out. I think that was just a big factor for me. I mean, all in all, again, I think it holds up well. You know, I think the whole live action thing holds up well. It's just some of those moments are a bit cringe for me, because it's like, just make up your mind, either go with it or don't. Because again, it's like one moment they go completely away from the source material, and then another moment they're trying like too hard to force it in there. But I don't really knock it against it, because the story arcs are still, I mean, all things considered, because they have to go away from it, they're pretty cohesive. You know, it still works pretty well. It still meshes together pretty well. But again, some of my other concerns about going into the season was just how they changed some things in season 1. They cut other things out. I was concerned that they were going to cut some of the things. I was concerned of some of the things they were going to cut out from season 2. One of those being Appa being lost, and the whole situation with the Sandbenders. And man, like, even though it felt way shorter, it didn't feel like it held the same kind of gravity that it did in the anime series. I'm so glad they let Appa. This sounds kind of bad, but I'm so glad they let Appa get kidnapped. They allowed Aang to feel that loss. I mean, it didn't really hold that toll on him in the same way. I was kind of disappointed they left the arc with Guru Patik out, the guru at one of the air temples. I'm drawing a blank. I feel like that's a really pivotal thing for Aang, that who knows how they're going to adapt that. So that kind of sucked, especially with the Avatar state and everything like that. I can tell they're trying to bridge the gap by showing more of the avatars, like the last Airbender avatar that he talked to, the other monk that he talked to, like towards the back end of the season when they were in the library. I did enjoy how they started to integrate more of the avatars, so you got to see Aang interact with more of them more frequently. I thought that was cool, but it did take away from the relationship he built with Roku. Like there was this like kinship between him and Roku, like mentorship that it doesn't feel like Aang has in this, and I feel like that's an important thing for a role like the Avatar. So I feel like that kind of strips away from part of Aang's development. While it is cool to see the other avatars, and like I really enjoyed Kyoshi's interaction with Toph, I thought that was a cool twist on things. It does take away from that mentor kinship relationship that Aang and Roku develop. So yeah, I mean, one of the things I do want to highlight here too, and I know I'm kind of like all over the place, so I apologize. I'm going like from a concern to something I enjoyed and back and forth, but one of the things I really fucking enjoyed is the visual effects. Like, I think that is one thing that I can't even question. Like, the visual effects were incredible. I mean, there are some shows, like when I watch House of the Dragon, it's like, if you look hard enough, you can tell that it's fake, you know? Like, I can't suspend my belief anymore. I can clearly tell it's fake, but it's not so bad where it deteriorates the quality of the show. It's just something I can notice. But with Avatar, it's legit. Like I can't, and maybe like I'd love to hear from you all. Like if you can see like some of the effects, like, you see it differently than me. I welcome to hear your opinions. But like I just think with Avatar, like the visual effects were fucking incredible. Like Appa feels real. Momo is a little question at times because their placement of him always feels a little clunky, kind of like what they did with the direwolves in Game of Thrones. It always felt kind of clunky. It didn't feel like they were actually integrated into the scenes. Like that's one of the things they do well with the dragons in the Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon series is when they're not being ridden, the dragons look legit, but the direwolves never really felt integrated into the world that well. Appa does. Momo doesn't. And you know, there's a whole bunch of camera things probably going on there that I don't fully understand. But besides the minor moments with Momo, I think the visual effects were really good. I mean, considering taking a concept like bending from anime into live action, they handled it well. I mean, especially towards the tail end, like I'm getting the chills thinking about it because the fight scene at the end in the caverns with Zuko and Azula and Aang, like the firebending was on fucking point. Like in the earlier season, the season 1 and maybe early season 2, firebending was just like they were spitting fireballs. But at the end, it was like full on like a flamethrower coming out of their fucking limbs. And I felt like the fight choreography was really good, especially the actor who plays Zuko. I obviously don't know if he does his own stunts, but holy shit, can that man fucking move, or whoever his stunt double is. He can move, and the fight choreography, the choreography to articulate the bending is just incredible, especially the fire bending. It was really enhanced this season, and I thought that was a really awesome upside. So I mean, there was a lot of things I liked. A lot of things that, like, again, they just felt forced. It didn't really take away from the story that well, but I'm just like, as a fan of the show, of the animated show, I'm just like, guys, just make up your mind. You know, some of these things don't have to be put in there. I appreciate the fan service, I really do, but, like, we don't have to add every fucking one of these one-liners in there. Like, the thing with Toph inventing metal bending was, like, the biggest thing for me. Like, don't do that. Just take that out, please. Like, if you can, go back and edit that out because that felt so forced. And one last thing I'm going to highlight before I wrap this video up here is Toph as a character in this, because I feel like that was probably one of the best casting choices. I don't know any of these actors well, with the exception of the guy who plays Ozai and the guy who played General Zhao. I knew those two from like Lost, I believe. But other than that, I don't know any of them. And so the young woman who plays Toph was just an incredible casting choice. Like, she crushed it. I could tell they were writing Toph in a slightly different direction because, like, she doesn't feel as, like, rigid and stubborn and stern. It feels like there's a softer tone to Toph, which I'm not necessarily against. Like, especially when she was at the poetry thing, the haiku thing with, what's his name? Zuko. I thought that was a cool touch, but Again, sometimes it just felt like they couldn't make up their mind how they wanted to write her. It's like, do they want to make her super stern and her prideful, stubborn self? Or do they want to make her, like, give her that softer, gentler edge? And, you know, I'll be the first one to admit, it could just be my bias coming to play here with a lot of these things, because I have a very strong bias towards the anime. And if I'm being honest with you all, it took me about 3 to 4 episodes into season 2 for my mind to, like, shed that bias, and for me to be able to objectively watch the show and see it for its own thing, separate from the animated series. It's like if they ever make a live adaptation of Ash's journey through Lake Kanto, I imagine I'll have the same problem. But it's a good problem to have, you know? I enjoy it. So anyway, that's about it. I'm pretty sure that's it, y'all. I think I'm gonna leave it there. So, like, the question, like, how does live action hold up? I want to hear from you all, but, like, for me, like, it holds up well. I really fucking enjoy it as a longtime fan of the Avatar series. I really am pumped that they created it. It's really cool to see it come into live action. They handle it incredibly well. You know, for the most part, again, there's some other things that I did, like, I'm indifferent on, you know, but for the most part, I give it like a thumbs up, like an 8 out of 10 type of deal. And I'm pumped for season 3 to see how they do it. Like, going into season 3, like, I'll be curious to hear some of your concerns for any of my, like, Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, diehard fans. I do have some concerns, y'all. I really do have some concerns. Like, I mean, the series finale, I think, is almost what makes Avatar feel like such a complete show, because it was everything we hoped for and then some in the anime. And with them doing like 7, I don't know how many seasons has been confirmed, or episodes have been confirmed for season 3, but I'm concerned with how they wrap that up. I mean, because they gave us 4 episodes, like an hour and a half long spectacle for the anime, and they gave it the time and energy it deserved to really showcase everything we were building up for those 3 seasons. And I'm concerned that it's gonna feel rushed when they get to it, because they have so much ground to cover. Really hoping that they give it at least 2 episodes, you know, where they can cover all of it. The fight with Azula and what you call it, Zuko, and then obviously Aang and Ozai. And like, one of my other concerns with that is the Aang and Ozai fight was just impeccable. You know, like, it was fucking amazing in the anime. And I'm worried if I'm concerned that they won't be able to adapt that to live action in a way that really articulates the potency of that battle scene. But they have proven me wrong at some turns, so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, keep my mind open to it. But that's one of my things. And like, the Zuko integration arcs with Zuko with himself, sure, with Sokka, with Katara, and even his trip to the Sun Warrior tribe with Aang. Like, I don't know, I have a feeling that's going to be one of those things they show off screen, maybe. Kind of like what they did with water, or Aang mastering waterbending. You know, season 1, he picked up like a drop of water, and then between season 1 and season 2, he magically learned it all. And of course, time passed. They had to write that in there, because the actor literally went from like 11 years old to he could go fight in a war if he wanted to. So they had to put that in there. But you know, those are some of those things that they showed in the anime that I missed out on in the live action. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt because the medium changed. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. Those are my concerns for what's to come. Those are where I'm at. I think it holds up incredibly well. I'm really pumped about it. I'm really pumped for season 3. I'd love to hear what you all have to say down below. Again, don't be a fucking asshole. If you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed my content, like, subscribe, comment. All the YouTube algorithm stuff, it helps more than you all know. I'm not looking to monetize this. I literally just do this for fun. I love this stuff, and I want to keep talking about it. So any support you guys can offer me means a lot. That's it. That's all. Peace out, y'all.